Connection with Shade Network activated. Audio file download commencing. Files marked extremely sensitive. Strategic Homeland Division only. Agent, commencing transmission.
What's up, agents? You're listening to episode 158 of SITREP Radio, giving you the news and other happenings in the world of the Division 2. Title Update 3 is coming next week as we get big news on the changes it's going to bring to the game, and we're going to end with questions and feedback from last week's show from our lovely listeners. But first, my name is Mike, and joining me are my co-hosts Robert.
Hello.
And Luke.
Hello.
I hope you guys and our listeners have had a great week, and welcome to any new listeners of the show. Good week, lads?
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. What have you been up to in the game this week? Is this a bit where we're like, I can't remember what we did?
We've done a lot of DZ, haven't we?
Yeah, see, I accidentally went in the normalized DZ. I haven't played the normalized DZ at all because I haven't unlocked the missions, and I was trying to complete a project, and that apparently led to a whole night of mayhem.
Well, half a night for me because I spent half the night making a build.
It was fun when you joined, wasn't it?
Pretty good, to be honest. Yeah.
What, the build or the night of the or both?
Both. Yeah, I made an AIDS build, SMG. Strained. Yeah, all the jazz. All the aids.
Luke, did you have a good time in the DZ last night?
I did, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I've been enjoying the ODZ quite a bit this week, solo and whatever, but yeah, the normalized DZ I've not really bothered with too much. It was really good to actually get some PvP in there, because that's just, as we said last week, it's PvE Dark Zone most of the time, isn't it? The normalized DZ, so it was really good to have some players that just kept coming back for PvP.
It was us three and another two groups of three. It was really kind of like, yeah, it was good.
I don't know about you guys. Like, I see a lot of people kind of going, we need more people in the DZ. Do you think we need more people in the DZ? Because, I mean, we only had another two teams there. Is it going to be more? Is it going to be more hectic if you have more players in there, Rob?
Yes, but that's not a bad thing.
No, it's not. But I can just imagine it kind of being a bit OP.
I think it could get to be a bit of a shit show if all the agents in the DZ were there literally for PvP. But that very rarely happens, does it? So if you had more players in the Dark Zone, there would just be more opportunity for PvP.
And with some of the changes we're about to discuss, I think
it's going to get a lot better.
It's going to be a little easier to survive, like 4v server-ish. Maybe.
Yeah. I'm also thinking there was a little bit of chicken dancing, wasn't there? Was there chicken dancing?
No, if it wasn't us going rogue, it was another group going rogue. It was quite...
There was a couple of instances where we all stood staring at each other thinking who was going to go rogue first, didn't we? But
it didn't last long.
Yeah,
no,
I agree.
Like I said to you in chat, if you want to get rid of the chicken dance button is on your keyboard. You just have to press it.
Press and hold.
Press it.
I pressed the wrong button.
What did you do? Yeah, you start clapping.
But like, compared to because we did a night of the ODZ this week as well, which was good fun. And compared to that, it wasn't so much checkpoint to checkpoint. It was like we were all out in the open. We were up on a bridge, like defending the bridge, and then we were in an alleyway. Like, yeah, it was a different type of PvP because of where we had to be away from the checkpoint.
I think the other side of it as well is I definitely kind of got that. I know people are going to hate me for it. I definitely kind of got that Division 1 kind of feel of like, these people are rogue, we need to chase them down. And then you've seen like 3-4 other people run past you trying to get them as well. So it's kind of like that mob mentality that we had back in the Division 1 kind of coming back again. Either that or we're just seeing it now and it was a good server to be in at the time. But it was definitely a good, very good couple of hours. My only one minor complaint with it, fucking NPCs.
Yeah, they're a little bit OP in there.
Yeah.
They are when you're not paying attention, when you're too busy
they are.
concentrating on players.
Or if you accidentally trick them as you're walking past, it's like, I need my stealth gear set so I can run past all these NPCs.
Thing is, in the ODZ, they're a bit. You're not normalized, but in the not like the Baby Dark Zone, you are normalized. So they hit you a lot harder, don't they? They feel like they do.
They feel like they do, yeah. I mean, they probably do in comparison because, like you say, you normalise, so your stats are diminished somewhat, aren't they? But
yeah, it definitely felt fair. I'll give it that. It definitely felt. I mean, I haven't spent that much time in the normalized DZ, but the two other teams we came across, it felt like it was kind of fair to a certain degree. It wasn't like one team was not outplaying, but like totally OP
we
to
were
the other
outplaying
ones.
them. We were the only ones that went manhunt, and then made a really stupid decision at the end.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Fuck! Look, there's a player.
Thank God we weren't streaming, eh? That story will never be told.
Yeah, the last manhunt station, and we went straight.
Yeah, sure. Don't tell the story. Rob just said we won't tell the story.
Okay. Yes, unfortunately, before we do move on, Luke's got some news for us.
Yeah, just before we get into the nitty gritty of the all the news from the state of the game this week, there is a bit of a somber start to the podcast this week. Long-time listener of the show and division agent from the very start of Division 1, Christopher Jackson, aka Musical Sage, unfortunately passed away this week after a short but valiant fight against cancer. So I promised a couple of people that we'd give him a quick shout out on the podcast. You know, the three of us here at SITREP Radio. Hope you rest in peace, and obviously our thoughts and best wishes go out to all of Christopher's family and friends at this sad time. It's you know, it's times like this you realise you're literally just sat here talking about a video game, aren't we? You know, people have got a lot of stuff going on in their lives, so yeah, just quick message for Christopher and his friends and family, unfortunately.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's get down to some news.
State of the game.
Okay, so there will be a regular maintenance tomorrow for around about 3 hours. So you have been warned. However, there's no specific changes coming to the game this week. I know they've been out fixing. Pretty sure, what was it? The specialization ammo got fixed last week, or at least it felt like it to me.
I thought they were going to add one change.
Did they?
There was a weapon that can't put a skin on, and now that you can. Or am I dreaming it? Did I dream that?
I think you fell asleep and dreamed it.
Maybe I just got bored while watching this day of the game and just started making shit up. Maybe.
You started making your own news up.
Yeah.
Oh, random shit they're going to add in maintenance. There's that one sweet weapon that nobody can put a skin on.
Yeah, I can't even remember what the weapon is.
I'm glad they're fixing that game-breaking bug anyway.
Yeah. I tell you, one game-breaking bug we did see this week, fucked up door we couldn't get through. So they do exist. Weird doors do exist.
I actually did a little video earlier as well. You're both looking quite scared right now.
I was just waiting for you to continue with the story.
I keep having a bug where if I look at a bright light and then move my camera a little bit, my whole screen just gets saturated with like light. And I videoed it earlier because it's quite easy to replicate when the sun's like high in the sky. But it happened to me in a safe house just looking at a spotlight.
Yes, I had the same thing yesterday when we were playing last night. And I said to you, and that was kind of what sparked the conversation about it yesterday. So it does appear to be an issue that we've kind of...
Yeah, I videoed it and I'm going to put it somewhere. Not sure where.
I've got a video that I want to put somewhere away.
Well, I suggest you send it over to the official Division forums.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that, so someone's going to have to tell me how to do that.
I've just told you how to do it. Just say it. Anyway.
So how do I do a video?
You've just made the video. You upload it and link it and send it to them.
What, like on YouTube?
It's not happening, Rob. Okay, so in today's State of the Game, Hamish and Yannick discussed some of the big changes coming with Title Update 3. So there's a lot to talk about today, boys.
Is there, though?
Well, a lot of it was kind of repeat, but yeah, there's some few tasty morsels in there. First of all, the PTS will be shutting down May the 9th in tomorrow's maintenance, and the news we've, I guess, all been waiting for, Title Update 3 will be launching next week.
They didn't give a specific date.
No, they just said keep an eye on the channels, and it'll be dropping very soon.
Which would suggest they don't know.
I wonder if they're waiting for that sweet Sony approval.
I was just going to say exactly the same thing. Yeah, we've been promised by Sony we'll get approval next week. They just didn't say when.
What? It's kind of
Tuesday, Wednesday then. Tuesday is PlayStation maintenance day.
Yes. But then it might drop with the maintenance next Thursday.
Yeah.
For all we know, it could be Tuesday. That wouldn't be a bad shout, would it?
And well, you say that, but then a lot of the major drops have been on a Friday, like for this game. Pretty sure most of the updates have been on a Friday.
Yeah, I think wasn't it? Was it Title Basin dropped on a Friday?
Yeah.
Or was that a Thursday? I can't remember. No, it was a Friday, wasn't it? Yeah, because you had the day off, if I remember right.
Yeah, maybe.
You worked from home.
I worked from home that day, yeah.
That's why it sticks in my head. Yeah. So obviously title update next week. And the raid, Operation Dark Hours, will be launching soon after. We have no details yet when that's going to be dropping, but they have said shortly after. When do we think the raid's going to drop? Do you reckon?
It depends on when TU3 comes. TU3 comes on the Tuesday, I reckon the raid will be on the Friday. If TU3 is on Friday, then it will be Tuesday of next week.
I hope it's not on a Tuesday.
I disagree. I think they'll give us at least a week.
No, they won't.
The reason I say that is because of all the changes they're making to the gear with the recalibrations and all the armor buffs and this and that and whatever else. I think they're giving people just a little bit of time to adjust their builds. I could be wrong. That's fine. I actually hope I'm wrong, but I'm just putting it out there.
I'm kind of hoping it doesn't drop till the last week of May, because I think 2 weeks is more than enough time for people to get adjusted with builds and all the rest of it.
So you want even further back?
I think it makes the most sense to give...
Wait. Hang on a minute. Is this because you aren't around?
You being on.
I'm not here as well. So I'm really hoping my raid team wait for me.
Selfish bastard.
Well, to be fair, it's only going to be, 8 hours? 8 hours? 24 hours? And I'll be back. Don't worry.
I ain't waiting that long, dude.
Oh, yeah, you're going to match me. You're going to do it on your own, aren't you? I forgot.
Yeah, I'm going to solo it.
True story. Anyway, there is a few other things that we've kind of found out today about the raid. So it will provide gear score 500 rewards, offer exclusive loot, including new gear sets that we've kind of already discussed, and a new exotic weapon.
Ooh.
I hope it's RNG. I really hope it's RNG.
Yeah, imagine if you get that on completion, like, oh, okay.
I hope they go down the Destiny route. The first people to finish the raid get it. All the eight people in that squad get it guaranteed. And then from then on, it's RNG.
I kind of don't want it though. I don't want it to be like that.
Why?
I mean, I don't know why you're worried. You're going to get it on first pass anyway.
Yeah, guaranteed.
But if we do it again, it's fine because you can pass it to us like week after week, depending on how this happens.
Can we just call our jets a little bit? We've got to finish it first.
Yeah, we do.
That would just be a matter of time, though. It's not going to be. I can't imagine it being that hard.
Cuts to next week or the week after.
Yeah, cuts to end of May. That fucking raid's too hard. I can't do it.
Yeah.
They have to cater.
Anyway,
they have to cater for the solo people.
Yeah, the game is catering for everybody. That is
looking at me like, what the fuck are you talking about right now?
Well, it's not a problem. It's a good thing. Okay, so we're going to go over Title Update 3 changes. I mean, a lot of this we have discussed over the past couple of weeks as the PTS has been running. So we're going to try and skim over some of today's news, but we'll probably cover all of it.
And that's done with the news. Let's move on with the question. Oh no, we actually have to talk about some of it.
Yeah, this is the main thing that you wanted to talk about today, the 500 plus gear score topic. So everyone was real excited, would we say, about getting 515 gear in the Dark Zone, wait for it, and other areas of the game. But that has now been changed, and it's not going to be added just yet.
Yep.
I thought you had some big theories on
no,
this.
I before I watched the state of the game, I saw a
Rant?
tweet from Yannick. I didn't have a rant. I saw a tweet from Yannick with a link. And I was like, "Oh, this looks interesting."
That could have
So
gone
I read
anywhere,
it.
dude.
I know, could have been boobs, but it wasn't. It was
Baguettes. Baguette boobs.
It was a link to a Ubisoft website that had basically like a description of what this gear score 500 thing, and how they're not going to go to 515 because they feel like it's too early to increase the gear score. And they're just going to make it easy. They're going to add places where you can get guaranteed 500 loot.
Yeah, which makes more sense. I mean, we've got stuff ranging from all over the place. Like, we were in the Dark Zone last night, and you boys were like, "Why is your gear score so low?" Well, unfortunately, that's one of the best bits of gear I've had drop, but it's got like a terrible gear score.
But then that's why I don't really care about this change. Because gear scores are relevant.
To some degree. I think it would be different on weapons. I think weapons would be different, but I think gear...
No. Because between 450 and 500, the base attribute on all weapons stays the same. It doesn't change. The only thing, and the talents are static. They don't change either, unless the devs decide to change them. But it doesn't depend on your gear score. So weapons are one thing that won't be affected by this change at all. Although I was thinking about it, like before I knew about the whole not being 515 thing. How are they going to rein it in? Like if you farmed an SMG in a DZ that was 515, right? Would it just be a base damage increase, or would they increase that base attribute? So like an SMG would have higher crit chance, so it wouldn't have 14.5%, which we currently have at 500. It would be like, what, 16? Could you then transfer that to a 500 weapon and that be like a stealth 515?
No, because you can't take the crit chance off an SMG anyway, can you?
Yes, you can.
You sure?
I guarantee you can, yeah.
I thought you could just take
it gives you the
talents
option when you're, yeah, you can.
Okay, I'll stand corrected then.
I think there's more of a chance of the base damage going up.
Yeah.
But then there's not going to be much difference in that base damage.
No, you're talking...
Unless they change the ratio, because like if you look at a 485 piece, there's not much difference between that.
But that's what we said at the time, wasn't it? When they first announced that 515 gear came out, it was all but irrelevant because of the power creep would be that little that it wouldn't really matter. Unless you'd got all 515 pieces that were god roll, then you might have an advantage.
If you all had 515 and they all had 100
gear
score rating,
yeah.
But that's but I feel like that's kind of what they were aiming for. But it wasn't actually portrayed across like that. It was more like, hey guys, we're dropping 515 gear in the Dark Zone.
I feel like they've made the right decision though.
Yeah.
I feel like when they do increase the gear score, it should be a significant amount, like 50 or 100.
Yeah.
Rather than these small chunks.
And for that to come along with a decent amount of content. So you're not just like, oh, they've just increased our gear score, we have to grind for our builds again. It's, yeah. It should come with world tiers. It's the only reason why it should come.
Or new raids.
I kind of agree with raids, but then I think raids, you're going to stop a lot of people from progressing further. But we know that I've just got this feeling going forward, we're not going to see that at all. I think Rob's right. I think you're only going to see this kind of progression either in world tiers or in the future when they're like, fuck it, we're going to give you minor updates to keep people kind of rolling with the game and that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely happy with the change, because you think all these people were trying to get 515 gear to then take on a raid. I mean, what level's the raid? Is it 515? What if only like one player or one or two players at your raid team is 515, and you need to be 515 or 500 or above to achieve that raid? I don't know. That's the way I'm kind of thinking of it at the minute. Luke, are you happy with the change?
Yeah. I think so. I was kind of looking forward to having a lot of stuff to do, but then the more you think about it, like we said before, with the power creep and whatever else, it wasn't that important. So I'm not sure how much time I would have thrown at getting my builds back up to 515, because it literally wouldn't matter. So yeah, great. I hope they've concentrated more on making the other stuff more perfect, let's say.
Yeah, well, it sounds like they've tried to. They've tried to improve the quality of the drops that we're going to be receiving, by the sounds of it, and basically when we're farming from now on, which is better. It's always a good thing. Rob, gear score 500 locations. Where is going to be the best place to farm those from now on?
Contaminated loot in the dark zone. Once you've reached gear score 500, I think a lot of this is going to be, if your average is gear score 500, then it will drop at 500.
Yeah, so you're going to get like heroic missions, bosses. You can get stronghold. It's the most of these seem to
much.
Yeah, pretty much all bosses, I was going to say. And then you've got control points level 4, and they're going to give you guaranteed gear score 500 drops once you've actually reached a maximum of gear score 500.
And then your daily missions, which is great news for people that have the season pass, because you get 3 pieces.
Yes, if you have the season pass. I don't think me and Luke haven't picked it up yet.
Jesus Christ.
But it looks like next week we might have
You do this for a podcast. You don't have the fucking season pass.
All right, Mr. Elitist.
We're going to wait a week.
What the fuck?
Dude, there's no way we're going to be able to wait a week.
No, because I'm going to spoil it for you otherwise. I will deliberately ruin it for you.
But it is kind of ironic that
fucking shit.
It is kind of ironic, don't you think, Luke, that we're like, we'll wait a week. We'll get the season pass and we can all play it together, right?
What?
Exactly. There's
confused.
no chance Rob's playing with us.
No comment.
I was going to say, I cannot confirm or deny that statement.
I'll play with Boris.
I'm sure you will. Okay, so loot changes. They're going to improve quality of drops from the drone helicopter. They've slightly reduced available loot from clan caches, though they've apparently increased. Didn't they increase the actual drops from it, like the quality of it?
I know.
They've increased the ammunition drop because that sucks at the minute. We're basically running out.
This is great
ammo
news for people running rifle builds
and SMG builds
and AR builds.
Pretty much every single build.
Builds. If you guys are running out of ammunition on those other builds, then you're doing something wrong. You need to hit more shots.
I feel hurt by that statement.
There were times in the dark zone last night when I was down to less than 100 rounds.
And I was like, oh shit, I need ammo. Oh, don't worry, that player's
you're
dead.
Staying alive too long.
But is that a good thing? Well, at least now, in theory, you can go farm some NPCs that, could be stabbing you in the back, and you'll have a whole load of ammunition again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've already talked about the bosses in pretty much every activity giving you gear score 500 drops when you've reached gear score of 500. Contaminated loot in the dark zone will drop below the player's gear score and will guarantee contaminated loot that will drop below the gear score will guarantee gear score 500 when the player has reached that gear score. All right, okay.
You just confused yourself, didn't you? They also said that they're reducing the amount of loot dropping from like purple and elite enemies in the dark zone, but there's more chance of them being contaminated.
Yeah, I think we need more contaminated loot. which is obviously something that is a big issue with the Dark Zones at the moment. Luke, what's going on with commendations?
So they've removed some.
Yes. Are people going to be happy about these changes? But just before you jump in, do you think?
I think most people will be, because I think for a lot of people, these time-sensitive commendations that have been removed / changed were being failed through no fault of their own, weren't they?
They were buggy from the word go. I remember I was like sat at like 14 days and the game had only been out like 10 days.
I know our good friend and co-host of Bombshell Jackets, Adlon Fox, has got one of these commendations passed and knows for a fact that he didn't hit the requirements to pass it. So his
a lot of people off.
His swang the good way. I think most other people have swung the bad way, and it's like, told you didn't log in for a day whilst you were logged in on that day and stuff like that. So basically the consecutive days playtimes and other similar ones have been removed. The devs obviously listened to the feedback that they weren't a good player experience and weren't trying to force players to play the game by logging in at certain times of the day and doing certain missions, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you had to know when the servers reset every day.
Yeah.
To get it.
So if you are lucky enough, like Mr. Fox, to have done one of these commendations, then great, that will stay visible for you. And a new vanity patch will be added to compensate players for lost time. These commendations will come back in one form or another, almost certainly without the login requirement. So they are going to be reworked and re-added.
Yeah, they said it's going to be like a cumulative rather than consecutive.
Oh, cumulative.
That's it. That's what I was trying to say.
It's like talking to Mike again.
Can you say heroic? That's the question today. Crafting changes come into crafting. We've kind of discussed before. They've increased the base cap for components and crafting materials by 200. So the cap's going to be like 600 now. You're going to have Inaya. It's just going to be obviously sorting out Inaya. I can't fucking talk today. Standards. So basically, she's going to be sorting out the blueprints.
Hashtag.
She's going to be the blueprint vendor from now on. I think the main thing from today's crafting update is the fact that exotic weapons are now going to be able to upgrade to the maximum gear score of the world tier that they are actually crafted in when the upgrade blueprint is used. Good change. We happy with that?
Yeah.
Roberts. Okay, so we got some gear changes, especially to some of
we
mediocre.
We kind of already discussed this last week, I think, but like we didn't know they were 100%, and some of them we didn't know. If that makes any sense. So the gears, they're trying to make gear sets more viable, I guess. So gear sets will now include better defensive rolls. So hardwired now grants skill damage instead of shock duration, which is good because apparently skills are going to be more viable in PvP, so that might get used in PvP. Might get abused. We'll find out, I guess.
I mean, we're already seeing what weird ass builds with two-piece True Patriot and PvP, and those weird people running
two-piece toilet paper, as I like to call it.
And those weird people running One Piece ongoing directive in like their mask slot. I mean, can you explain that to me, please, Rob?
That's because they're trying to hit a certain amount of attributes so they can activate like certain talents.
But still, is there nothing else better?
No, probably not. Well,
okay.
In a lot of circumstances, the gear
depends.
sets...
It depends.
Gear set pieces will give you a better roll than a gold piece.
Yes.
The cap.
You get more crit chance on a gear set piece.
Yeah, but I think we've seen builds where they haven't even had that. Pretty sure.
Well, yeah, but that's because inspecting is somewhat bugged, isn't it? So you don't.
Yes.
Don't.
Well, yeah.
always
That could be the case.
reading.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's the fact that I've been inspecting builds, so I'm like, huh, what? And then
ongoing directive now grants special ammunition into any weapon, not just your one that you haven't got equipped, including the weapon. Yeah. I'm just trying to do it myself. now grant special ammunition on any kill as well, not just weapon kills. So you can do it with skills. That's kind of cool.
You could punch somebody to death and get special ammo for it.
Yes, you can. You could run a shotgun build and get like 120% melee damage. Just go around punching people.
Okay.
Or you couldn't, because that wouldn't work, because it's not enough damage.
I mean, it would work. It'd just take forever.
You'd be die, wouldn't you?
To tell me what
Not
to
always.
That was like
It
some kind of-
does beg the question if you're running around punching everybody to kill them, why you need special ammo, but still.
do. It kind of defeats the point, but hey.
special punches, maybe?
Hadouken!
IFM. Imagine punching someone though and giving them like a shock. That'd be pretty funny. Wait, they did that, right?
Wait, I just think you.
Wait
I
a
feel,
minute.
Yes, they did. In
They did do that.
Yes, they did. In fuck. We've only done it like a million times.
What were those special weeks called? They weren't called seasons, were they?
Oh, they're sweet seasons.
None of us can remember the names.
The classified events. Let's just call it that. And
Really?
finally, True Patriot.
Yeah, we already knew about this though. The debuff, the debuff is going from 4 seconds to 2 seconds.
And they're increasing the fucking damage.
Yeah, but the full flag is fucking weird anyway. Like, to get that to proc is... Yeah, it's not...
I'm still interested to see if it's going to make a difference.
Fucking shit. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, talking about mediocre things, exotics are having their damage increased across the board. So that's good news for people who felt exotics were a little bit too weak. Luke?
Global events.
That's
Global
it.
events.
That's what they were fucking called.
Something
old as fuck and don't remember the last game.
I can't remember what I did 2 weeks ago, let alone
2 weeks ago, I can't remember what I did this fucking morning.
shit. Anyway, one of the big things that obviously Hamish got absolutely excited about, I'm interested to see some of the stats from this as well. We're going to be getting a post-mission summary. So on completion of a mission, players are going to get a chance to look at basically how well they did. I'll be looking forward to that because I'm interested to see. I wonder if it's going to have deaths.
Oh yeah, it will.
Yeah.
You'll have KD. Yeah,
This
for sure.
this had better be something akin to the skirmish scoreboards.
No, it's really detailed. I've seen pictures because it was in the PTS. I don't know why Hamish doesn't know about it.
All right, okay. This is the first
Yeah,
time hearing
No,
about
it
it
was
as well.
definitely. I saw
Might be
Grumpy
like-
put a post up. It was it's very detailed.
He's still playing this game.
Yeah. He's still playing. I saw him playing the PTS yesterday.
I thought he quit. Oh, good on him.
I think he quits
Nice to see
every
him
week.
back. It's fine. Do we think this is a cool addition?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hell
Do we think we're gonna get a mission completion time?
Oh, no, yeah, there is. I'm pretty sure there is, dude.
Because you know what we can bring back, boys.
Speed runs are coming back, baby.
Speed runs.
And it'll be
The
official
same.
times as well. We don't have to
Yeah,
record
it'll be
it.
official. None of this posting your
We
screen.
can just take a screenshot.
Yeah, that one. Oh, it'll be so
Edit
much
your-
better.
You can edit your name in.
It'll be so
It's
much
fine.
better. It was so much hard work
We
before.
get really good at photoshopping those
I'll-
screenshots.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It's
asking,
really ridiculously fast times.
asking players to upload the video and all the rest of it. Those days are gone. Hopefully. I mean, we'll see next week. Something we've already talked about anyway. New mods coming. Auxiliary skill battery. It's basically going to fit in skill mods and grant additional skill power that allow you to unlock mods with higher skill power requirements. Basically buffing your skills. Pretty cool. I'm interested to see how that plays out. I haven't had a chance to.
Yeah, that could break the game.
It's interesting. That's why.
So they're going to be really OP or really meh.
I can't disagree with that. To be honest, Like, it does feel like something. It's like we're gonna see. We'll see. But I mean, they had, like you said earlier, the idea at the minute is to make builds better. Tankier builds, not tankier builds, but if you want to obviously delve into tankier builds, if you want to delve into skill builds, it kind of feels like they're trying to give people more variation instead of just running these hybrid builds or freaking tanky DPS builds. But hey, that's a conversation for another time. Recalibration, we've kind of talked about that anyway. It's the idea is you could be able to change or move the majority of one stat from one piece over to the next without too much of a loss. I'm pretty sure that's right, Rob.
Yeah, they've made the cap bigger, but there's still a cap.
The only difference now is where currently you recalibrate gear, your gear score actually raises. This time it's not going to raise at all. It has like its own recalibration score that it will raise up to 100 or something.
Yar.
NPC changes, Rob.
Yeah.
There's been a few NPC changes. Are we happy with changes to NPCs? With regards to difficulty and all the rest of it.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they're moderately decreasing the melee damage for all other NPCs and greatly reducing the melee damage for tanks really just
makes you so happy.
It makes my shotgun melee build even more stronger.
Also, it means you're not going to die as much.
Yeah, true. I do get up and close and personal with the NPCs.
The one I'm happiest about is the accuracy of grenade throwers has been reduced because they never miss.
They've already reduced that though. I swear they did. Like when, yeah, they did. I swear that was in like one of the first patches.
Well, there's still like heat-seeking grenades. The motherfuckers never miss. Well, they never missed me. Let's put it that way.
I've got to be honest. The one I think I'm kind of happy with is just the fact that they've decreased the melee damage because the amount of times we've been like one shot whilst we've been playing. I say one shot, we've been like hit once, dead. How am I dead? What the fuck?
That's funny when you're in a group of four though. You're like, oh, Mike's been punched again.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah. It's normally when I've been rezzed or something. Revived. Not Destiny, fucking hell. Friendly NPC changes. I mean, I was going to remove this, but Rob was like, this is funny. Is it funny, Rob? Please tell me.
It's not that funny.
I mean, apparently, like, civilians now have
apparently
pants.
They were wearing pants, but I think that was them trying to joke. But, like, there's been a lot of, like, feedback of them. I saw a satirical YouTube video of someone saying, why are you walking around with just a gun and, like, shorts and a t-shirt? It's kind of stupid. Like, you should be wearing a helmet and armor and stuff. Like, as agents, we're like geared up. We're wearing lots of armor and stuff, whereas the civilians just walk around with a pistol.
See, the first thing I thought of with this was the Lego Movie, and like the Lego Movie's favorite TV show. Rob, can you remember what it is? I'll give you one word: honey.
B.
No, that's not it at all. Honey, where's my pants?
Oh, honey's what? Yeah, no.
Okay. Moving on. Control points, Luke.
Jesus.
Still laughing at Mike's joke.
It wasn't a joke. It was just the first thing that fucking popped into my head.
So control point changes. The alert level impact will now be more clearly communicated. Hostile patrols and convoys are now communicated better during takeovers.
Hard to throbbing.
Wow.
I mean, hard to heroic.
Wow.
I was going to say, wow, dude. I mean, I don't know what you've got on your screen right now, but it's a lot different to mine.
Civilian takeovers can now be used as respawn points. You can fast travel to friendly takeovers and convoys, and the one that I think is the best change: civilian officers can now revive you during takeovers.
I don't know. The fact that you can fast travel to friendly takeovers and convoys is pretty fucking handy.
That's handy, but I personally think the one I said last was best. But
yeah, no, the fact that we've been reviving them like for the last 7 weeks and they haven't repaid the favor yet, it's kind of, now they can.
I think that's really good for solo players. I think both of those are really good for solo players, though. The fact that you've got respawn points and they're, NPCs are going to be able to revive you as well. That's really good. Because, I mean, I was doing some control points and I think I got one up to level 4 and then I died and I went back and like completed it. But if I could have just fast traveled straight there, it would have been a lot easier.
The trick is to do one near a safe house.
Oh, okay. But what if they're not near a safe house, Rob?
Then do a different one that is near a safe house. Don't be a fucking idiot.
Okay, point taken for the future. Don't do any control points near a safe house. No.
No, that's not what I was saying.
That's what I'm taking from
It's special.
Love you too. Skills, we've talked about it before. They're getting changed. I think the main one, everyone's going to be, I don't know, pissed off or whatever. Chem launcher is not going to stack anymore with regards to the reinforcer gas cloud.
It just means rather than running like +5, you run plus 50% heal, I guess. It means one will heal you more than 3 of them.
I don't run
together.
it, so.
Of course you don't. You run any heal skills, do you, Mike?
I think they changed.
You're OP.
The change to the Defender drone will piss more people off than that one, to be honest with you.
I'm glad that's changed.
Horrible SMG builds, but now, not useless, but
hey, I made one of them yesterday. It was great.
Yeah.
Hey,
you're an
that's
asshole.
What I was running yesterday.
You're an asshole too.
I know. I feel like
that night we were in the ODZ, and those 3 SMG Defender drone builds literally had to bum rushes to get anywhere near us so that the Defender drones worked that night. You were slagging them off, and then 2 days later, you've both got a Defender drone SMG build. Surprise the fucking prize.
No, the only reason why I made an SMG build is because RNG told me to. I was doing a blue mod run, and I got,
of course, you got like
6% SMG.
I forgot you were being an asshole, and then the RNG told you to be a bigger asshole. Right, I remember.
Hey, it's in the game. I'm just playing the game.
It's EA, dude. Yeah, I think I got
my first 6% AR damage earlier.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. I'd give you a round of applause, but
it's gonna make my AR when they bring the new changes in for the assault rifles that are going to be OP soon. By the way,
I think the major change out of all that, I'm hoping, is the fact that the Reviver Hive is actually going to work properly this time around.
It won't. They've just slowed it down.
Isn't this like the 4th time they've promised that they've fixed it?
I don't know. They've said the revive time's slightly increased, but I mean, the amount of time it takes to drop that, I feel like you have to press it twice sometimes before it even drops, even on like instant.
If you die, it drops for you automatically.
Yeah, I know that.
I
should know that. I know you know that. You should know that.
I don't run it anymore. Fuck you.
I know. I can tell.
I'm always in the DZ, so I definitely don't run it anymore.
Yeah.
Pointless. You got that sweet Defender drone up.
No, I use the booster hive.
No,
I love running like fucking Wile.
Mate, I run 2 Defender drones.
And a shield.
Yeah. And 6 shotguns.
Okay, so we've got conflicts. I think the only change there is the fact that they've changed the armor boost. It's been reduced by 50%. I think that's a pretty good call. I don't kind of agree with who the boost goes to, but that's a completely different thing. We've got PvP balancing. So we've talked about this before. The assault rifles have now had a damage scaler applied. The PvP damage modifier has been decreased to give a longer time to kill.
Normalization's now gone up. It's up to 500, right?
Actually at 500 gear score now. Where is it? Do we actually know what it was before? Was it
450?
450. And finally, the skill modifier has been increased. So, in theory, like Rob said, you should do more damage with your skills now.
And the 1.25 PvP damage scaler for the assault rifles.
Assault rifles.
Assault rifle meta incoming. Get good with an AR.
1.25 PvP damage scaler has been applied to assault rifles. So assault rifles in PvP now do more damage than they do in PvE.
No. The PvP scale, I'm not sure what the PvP scaler was before, but it's just more than it was. It could have been 1.23. We don't know. They didn't give us a reference. I'm guessing it was 1.2. They're just going to be more in line with the rest of the weapons. Because if you played an AR in the DZ, unless you're running like 4 fucking 6% AR damage mods, which I know neither of you are, then they're pretty weak.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. Out of all of the weapons, I do kind of feel like assault rifles are like nobody. I'm not using an assault rifle
Because all the builds are either close range or long range.
Yeah, so
You've either got an LMG on, sniper, or you got a shotgun or an SMG.
Yeah. I don't think we've come across many builds with where they're running assault rifles. Apart from Luke. I know you put your hand up.
I ran one, and then I was like, nah, this ain't working. So I switched.
Would you two argue that my build was working quite well last night?
I wouldn't argue with you. I would say it was working.
Okay.
I mean,
that's
killed
enough.
Stuff.
That's enough.
Thank you.
You made stuff dead. Well done.
You made them bleed and come back crying for more. Is that what you want to hear?
He's looking very content with himself right now.
He might fall asleep. Anyway.
It's possible.
Go to sleep. There's been a shitload of dark zone changes. I mean, there's a lot to do with boss drops and contaminated loot, stuff we've already talked about. My mum, obviously, she's coming to the dark zone.
Bag size has increased.
I like your mum's dark zone.
My mum's bag size has increased, is it? The best. I can't wait for that change. Yeah, I think one of the main things that I'm really looking forward to is, I mean, I wasn't 100% these changes were actually going to come in this update. So the fact that they're fixing the dark zone brackets, we've talked about it before, they're being reduced. So you have level 1 to 30, and then anything above that is going to be in a single bracket.
I'm a little bit sad about.
What?
Is they're reducing the XP loss in the ODZ.
What you mean? You don't have to spend an hour getting it back again?
No, that was like a challenge, right? I got down what we were playing, what night it was last week. We got down to like 42, 44-ish. And then by the end of the night, we were back at like 50. And I was like, right, I'm done. It was like a challenge. Like,
can't go to bed till we hit dark zone rank 50
it's like
again.
a kind of like a KD scaler, isn't it? Because if you die, you lose a rank. And then you have to kill like 4 more people to get you that rank back.
Yeah, but if you think about it, if you've got more PvP activities going on in future Dark Zone, then you should lose more than you have done over the past few weeks. I don't know. Maybe that's just the way I'm seeing
it. Yeah, but if we're going to be good, then we're just going to stay at 50. If you're really good, you're just going to stay at 50.
Yeah, but you know it could be top dog in the Dark Zone every night.
Fuck you. Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Yeah, you might not, Mike.
No,
me and Rob will be fine.
I told you, boys. I mean, it's not like I was the one going.
My AIDS builds, I'll be fine.
Ouch. Anyway, yes, they've removed the rogue cooldown. There's still a 5-second toggle cooldown, and yeah, and they've added a separate PvP damage modifier. I think that's pretty much it. We're kind of glossing over most of those.
It's because it's kind of like we've already talked about it.
Yeah.
Well,
we literally said that, haven't we?
Yeah.
And almost finally, matchmaking down under. What the fuck is going on here, Rob?
Stop.
No, I'm not doing the accent.
What?
Who wrote these notes?
Why? This was in the state of the game, dude.
I'm just querying the spelling of Sydney, that's all.
Hello, my name's Sydney. But basically, yeah, there was a load of issues with people in Australia playing together due to matchmaking, latency, all the rest of it. They tried to pair them up with the Asia servers, if I remember right.
Yep.
And then there was a whole language issue, so they tried to match them up with America. Obviously, that's a hell of a latency issue there alone. So they've gone back to, hey, you can matchmake with other Australians.
This was kind of a pointless story, in my eyes.
Yeah.
We tried to fix it. We couldn't.
So we went back to what it was.
We were doing it. Sorry, guys. You need to move. So essentially, you just need to move. If you want to play this game, you need to move to a more populated area. It's as simple as it is.
I do feel bad for Australians because that must be really fucking annoying, though.
Yeah. I just want to apologize because we know we have a few Australian listeners, and it fucking sucks when you can't find other people to play with.
Yeah, it sucks when Massive tells you to fucking move house.
I think no, you told them to move house, Rob.
Yeah, but that's essentially what they're saying.
Okay, well, if you disagree with what Rob's saying, please send your thoughts and feedback over to, what was it, SITREP Radio Rob at Twitter. Is that right?
I'm not. I don't want that feedback, so you can fuck off.
And finally, some good news for console players. There's been some work done to sort out the performance issues that they've been having. The main one, streaming of textures has been improved for consoles. Because
didn't they say they're going to get
neutral lighting?
Neutral lighting as well, yeah.
Yes.
All platforms.
I think it was like a couple of other things, like the weird arm hands for the bounties.
Yeah.
Fuck the NPCs for the bounties.
We're getting a different. PC players are getting a different anti-aliasing as well, which is cool.
Yeah,
it's gonna take more resources of your PC, so no one's gonna fucking use it, but they're adding it anyway.
Well, you can use it when you buy, your new PC.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I don't know why I'm reminding you.
Well, I forgot because I hadn't planned to buy a new PC.
Get the fuck out, had you? You were telling us, I'm going to get a new PC when the new Ryzen stuff comes out.
I'm going to upgrade my PC. I'm not going to buy a completely new system.
Luke?
Yeah, he'll just get carried away and put everything on his very card, won't he?
Oh, shut up.
Anyway, that's it for news this week. I'm looking forward to next week's updates.
Sorry, we kind of glossed over a lot of the stuff. There is a full list of changes on the Ubisoft website. If you feel like reading that immense list, then you know where to look.
If not, you can come back next week and Rob's going to read all of them.
No.
In slow motion voice.
I'll do it on a Patreon episode.
Okay. I'll hold you to that.
Okay.
If Patreon listeners want that to happen, please let us know.
Oh, God.
Anyway, down to questions and feedback. I think recently my favorite part of the show, where we get to read out, discuss some of the questions and thoughts and feelings from you guys that are listening to the show. First one comes from Parker Ashton, who is a new recent listener who said, loved this week's episode as well, gents. I appreciate the shout out, and the chest piece sounds like a diamond, Rob. That sweet one you got a couple of weeks ago. Mike, you said everything, and I'm having trouble with space for all of it. Are you guys using any trackers for your gear? Luke, I hope you get your Alps rolls.
Thank you, dude.
Is anyone using any trackers for the gear? Because Luke, I know you had spreadsheets going at one point.
Not for Division 2, I didn't. I had there were more checklists when we were doing the classified gear for Division 1, but I've just been writing shit down for this one.
I haven't really got a spreadsheet, but I have like little notes because I've got mules and I've got written down what each mule has. Like one has the backpacks and chests, one has like knee pads and.
I can't believe you've actually categorized it.
Yeah,
that's insane.
I know, but it just means that like I saw a streamer do it, I was like, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, but you're the laziest person I know,
and
that's why he's categorized it, so we don't have to spend more time looking for them.
Yeah,
I guess that kind of makes sense. But for Rob to be efficiently lazy,
laziness is just smart efficiency. Think about it.
Okay.
Luke's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I think Luke, I'm not sure if Luke agrees with that. Anyway, moving on. Not Me Mister, in reply to last week's kind of discussion on, I'm pretty sure it was 8-man open world activities for PvE. He said part of what prompted my first question was due to him and Boris's chat with Kirky, and they kind of felt that maybe what people really want is somewhere in the PvE open world where you can meet up with randoms and actually do something without having to group up. Hence, something like, as we discussed, the Destiny public events. I just like the ideas you guys came up with. I enjoyed the podcast, and I agree with what you said about the Dark Zone. For me, what Rob said about casual players is spot on. And with so much to do now in the LZ and with the things I want to do right now. My limited game time means I'm concentrating on that. On a less serious note, I apologize for anyone traumatized by the image of Mike's reaction to my PvP question. I can't remember what that is now. But and finally, this one's for our lovely editor, Jarrett. Can someone please tell the Mash Those Buttons voiceover guy at the end that the Division 2 got released already?
Wait, what does he say? I don't even know.
Rip.
I think it's for those people waiting for the Division 2. I mean, it's not like you put out a video every week.
Yeah, but I cut these bits off.
Rob, do you want to take the next one?
No.
This is a couple of these are actually in reply to
you
last
just keep
week's.
reading, dude. You do it. You're good at this shit. We'll just respond to you.
What with yes?
Yeah.
Sometimes there'll be a no.
And your mum.
Okay. So a lot of these are actually in reply to the discussion we had last week. If you haven't heard it, go check it out. It was basically us discussing whether there should be a PvE Dark Zone and why people would even want that in the first place. Obviously, that's going to trigger a lot of people. So please go check out the previous episode, and you can kind of get our thoughts and feelings on this.
Listen to my rant.
Yeah, you were pretty hungover the next day, if I remember right. Anyway, Ghost Monkey says, I think the thing is there's more to the Dark Zone that is unique than just PvP. A lot of people want to do the landmarks, extract loop, because they find it the most enjoyable and fastest way to farm gear. I have multiple days planned in the DZ and 2 level 50 Dark Zone characters, and I spend 90% of that time running that loop. It's very fun to me. And honestly, to be honest, like, the only thing I hate about it is the freaking gankers who run up and kill you whilst you're clearing landmark or extracting. I wouldn't know about that, unfortunately. I swear on my life, I've never done that in my entire life.
Liar.
Cuts to 24 hours ago. Luke, there's a player at the landmark. Let's go.
The landmark's red. Let's go. Someone's extracted. Let's go.
Extraction choppers are the big giveaway now, aren't they? More than landmarks.
Extraction shoppers.
When
I love
they
that.
actually make noise.
I feel like we need to
Stealth
write
choppers.
some of these weird names we come up with. Shit. Extraction shoppers. I swear there was another one recently as well. Angry Chef says, this week's episode has me so triggered about the PvP and PvE argument, guys. I couldn't agree with you guys more. How much fucking more PvE content do we need? And I'm not even a PvP player. I don't mind. I want more PvE content.
Shut up.
I want to be, and I will be, when they get the DZs more balanced. Why are players scared to go into the Dark Zone? Will we die in real life if we are ganked in the Dark Zone? As Rob said, grab your balls, go in, get the lore, whatever you want to do, and get out. If you die, it doesn't matter. Here's an idea. Fucking respawn, go back up there. What the fuck? By the way, I must look like Stevie Wonder typing all this shit at a red light. Wow.
Ooh, typing and driving, not a good idea, dude.
Well, I hope you got home safe. I'm pretty sure you got home safe. Thank you very much for your thoughts and feedback on that. Darth Loki also said, agree 100% on the PvE Dark Zone discussions. It already exists. It's called the rest of the fucking game.
Yes.
That's
Why didn't we
spot
say
on.
that?
Because we said it in more words.
I may have said it.
There's something else I thought about, but I'll wait till you read Ghost Mop's comment as well.
Okay. Thank you very much to Ghost Mop, who posted over on the YouTube video that we put up of these episodes that we were actually recording. He says, or they say, 100% PvE player, and I think the Dark Zone should stay a PvE/PvP zone. The LZ is so dense with content and so vast that you can get lost for hours free roaming. As a PvE player, I was able to get to Dark Zone level 50 without being steamrolled. The Dark Zone is a ghost town, so enjoy it before it changes, which I could be honest, boys. I think we said this last week.
You did.
What?
Luke, you were going to say something.
I was. I thought about it a couple of times, and every time we start talking about why people want a PvE Dark Zone again, I remember. But with Darth Loki saying it's the rest of the fucking game, I would be happy for there to be a PvE Dark Zone if they give me a PvP LZ.
A PV, yes, I think that's a fair statement to make, isn't it?
Can you imagine how good a PvP LZ would be?
What PvP? Yeah, if you had PvP, well, we've said it before. If we had PvP in the open world, I just want a purge event. The whole of Washington for one weekend only, like, I don't know, once in a blue moon would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Andre Rafferty on YouTube says, enjoyed the discussion. I don't think there should be a PvE Dark Zone. Like you said, the Dark Zone is PvE right now. It's just got no players in there.
The irony is the fact that since we've had this discussion, I feel like the Dark Zone has become more populated with the PvP players.
That's a good point. I mean, I'm not going to deny you that fact.
Well, from our experience, anyway.
That may also have coincided with us actually spending a lot more time in there as well. But,
I mean, that might be the same with other people. That might, because...
Well, apparently not Australia. I'm just saying. Fingers crossed you find some people. But, I mean, yeah, I think things have definitely shifted in the past couple of weeks, haven't they?
Yeah, but I think we alluded to that possibly happening in the future as well, because, the PvE is so solid and people were still looking for better builds that they were happy to do the missions. Now that they've perhaps got the builds or finished with the missions or just got bored of PvE, it could be great that they just, fuck it, let's go in the Dark Zone for a bit.
I've solved it.
What?
People that want a PvE Dark Zone, buy a VPN and go play Dark Zone in Australia. Okay? Job's good.
I think that's like the best thing I've ever said. It's absolutely batshit, but makes so much sense. Find a dead server.
IFM.
I did for Massive. Save those Australian servers for PvE farmers.
Because it wouldn't matter about latency, would it? Because you're just farming.
I'm not saying anything. Next kind of feedback comes from Splatter on Twitter. Thank you very much for sending it in. He says, I enjoy how SITREP Rob talks about the and discusses topics as opposed to the majority of the community. It's kind of hard to tell after the daily read of the Division 2 Reddit of the changes that are being implemented in the game. Everything he says, I'm here sitting thinking, see, Rob gets it.
I do.
Oh, God.
You do. 9 times out of 10, I think you do. And then on that 10th time, I think you go fucking AWOL. And
I'm incredibly drunk.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of the time. But are you drunk right now?
No.
You're surprisingly coherent.
Thank you.
We had another feedback on YouTube. Josh Aaron says, oh, damn, glad I found this. Thank you very much for listening to the podcast, Josh. And Kieran on Twitter says, just curious as to how long you think we will get between Update 3 and the raid dropping, assuming they will give us some time to make builds based on the upcoming changes.
I believe we discussed this earlier.
Yes, we did.
We all had very differing opinions.
I think we should have a week. I think a week would be fair enough.
You said 2 weeks.
I
Luke
want
said
2 weeks.
I said 3 days.
Did Kieran post that before State of the Game went out?
Yes, that was posted a couple of days ago.
Well called, dude.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we've obviously discussed this. No, obviously, we put out the podcast last week, and to be honest, we've had so much kind of feedback with regards to the PvE versus PvP Dark Zone from a lot of you guys, and we really appreciate the conversation. One person in particular, Reaper UK76, shout out to Reaper because he's a really awesome guy, and we ended up having a really good conversation about the whole thing, and he said, I've just listened to the podcast and I really wish I was part of the conversation so I could give a PvP player's perspective. So I hit him up and
didn't you reply to that and say, well,
yeah,
let us know in Discord? Yeah,
let us know in Discord. And same with anyone listening. If you just disagree with us or anything like that, let us know.
I mean, you're wrong, but
we're open to listen to other people.
We'll listen to you.
So I thank him so much for kind of discussing it, because it's not, it's, I don't know. Anyway, he kind of goes into why he thinks as a PvE player, these are kind of his thoughts, kind of killing this
Come
bit.
on, Mike,
but
in your best Welsh accent.
No, I'm not you drunk on a Saturday night, I'm afraid, when we're streaming the Division. But if you do want to check that out, you can check it out at the end of the show. Anyway, Reaper says, I was a day one Division 1 player and found myself gravitating towards PvE content over PvP. I've always liked pushing myself to beat the hardest content solo. The open world in the Division 1 was lifeless and uninteresting, forcing me to find new activities to entertain myself. The Dark Zone brought a new challenge of random elite NPCs and large groups of enemies to fight in the landmarks. So I'd find myself with areas to explore further north, and I went to find more and more experiences. The only negative I ever had was the other human players, obviously. I never understood the motivation of 4 players running around a corner to find a solo player completely uninterested in shooting at them, only to go rogue, drop them in seconds, and stand over them spamming the laugh emote. It wouldn't fulfill the PvP they were looking for, and most of the time, they wouldn't even touch my loot. It was just a behavior I hadn't seen since my school days, so the thought of a PvE-only Dark Zone made perfect sense to me. A world I could farm, loot, and div tech with no risk of other players just trying to ruin my day. It worked so well in that Space Magic game. But my feelings have completely changed for the Division 2. I have a large open dynamic world to explore with random events and control points that I can challenge my ability with. Creating a PvE Dark Zone at this point would be completely redundant. The Dark Zone in the Division 2 needs to fully achieve its PvP dream of a lawless zone that players can kill however and whoever they want. I don't even feel there should be any PvE in this zone. As a PvE player, I have zero reason to go in there until I'm ready to dip my toe into the world of insanity that is the Division 2's PvP. The big question is, why are the PvP players not going in? It's long, but I think that sums up what I feel. Huge shout out for sending that in to us, Reaper, because we do appreciate it. And I think it's nice to get other people's thoughts on this that, you know, don't go in the Dark Zone and just solely PvE constantly. Any thoughts on Reaper's statement, boys?
No, I wouldn't want to butcher it, to be honest with you. I think he said everything that he needed to say.
Okay. We've got a couple of quick questions and we will get out of you guys' way. Angry Chef says, just a quick question. Do you think we should be able to switch our signature weapons through our inventory screen instead of having to go back to the White House base of operations? I've got 4 World Tier 5 characters. That's where most of my gameplay has gone into since I've played. Wow. I'm just trying to make builds now. I'm just trying to short form this. I noticed I was running Stronghold the other night. I wasn't hitting as hard, so I basically wanted to change to a different specialization. Now he feels like swapping a loadout you can't do either in PvE or PvP. You have to do it all the way back at the base of operations. It would be quite nice to do it through your inventory screen. Just curious what your thoughts are on the subject. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, no, this has always been like, I've thought about this quite a lot because Chuck's brought it up quite a lot when he streams. He's talked about this recently, well, a month ago, and I feel like it could work, but then I think about the PvP side of it, and then people abusing it. I don't know.
I kind of do agree that I think one of the main reasons that they've done this is because of the PvP. And I know it might always sound like we're elitist and we're always talking about it from the PvP side, but I do feel like whatever happens in PvE does affect PvP to some degree. Not always. You know, I'm not always people are like, well, they fucking changed this because of PvE or the other way around. I
can't think of a reason how anyone would be able to abuse it. But there's obviously someone smarter than me who's thought of that reason and why they've done it.
Would you agree?
I personally can't think of a reason why they can't do it without breaking PvP. I honestly can't. Yeah.
I think once you load into PvP or once you're in the Dark Zone, it would like lock off. That would be the easiest change.
Yeah, but then how would it be abused? Think about it.
I don't think it's so much that. I think it's to give you a choice. I think it's to give you a choice. Correct me if I'm wrong. And, you know, listeners, let us know. I think it's to give you a choice when you load into a mission. This is your build. This is your loadout. This is your setup for your team. What you're going to use moving forward. But and you've got the raid coming up. You know, this is what I'm taking into the raid. This is what I want to run. But obviously, the versatility of being able to change on the fly is gone.
Yeah,
And
like having loadouts kind of makes that like if you've got 3 loadouts that are based on an SMG and you want to run Demolitionist, and then 3 that are based on a sniper rifle. Like say you want to run a heroic mission and you want to switch loadouts halfway through, like a lot of people used to do when running heroic missions. You can't do that anymore because that build will lose a lot of damage due to not having that specialization procced. Which, PV wise, it kind of sucks, to be honest.
But then I'm kind of thinking from Destiny's point of view, like people would change characters, they'd log out. Do you know what I mean? You'd log out, change characters, and then come back in. I feel like this is the Division's version of that. You know, if you got to a certain point in a raid or a mission, you can do it.
But then why not force us to have a character per specialization?
Because there's too many specializations and you need multiple characters.
You're saying there's going to be more than 4?
Yeah, wasn't it that we
Yeah,
had
we
to
already
like,
know that.
wasn't it up to 8?
Spoilers.
Sure, I'm pretty sure we've discussed this. Luke, what are your thoughts on
I
this?
can't remember how many said. I think the fix is the one that you said. Let people change specialization from their inventory once you're out of combat, but in PvE. And once you are in a dark zone safe room or checkpoint or in any form of skirmish-based PvP, your specialization is locked until you come back out of that area.
I think you should go, I think...
Because I kind of agree with Rob. I can't think of an instance where you could abuse the specialization in PvP.
I'm sure there is. There is. There's a reason why they've done it.
People would figure it out, pretty quick, and then you'd be like, "Why the fuck did they change this?" Rah 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 rah. So just leave it as it is in PvP, and let the PvE crowd change. Because I agree, it is a problem. I've done it. I've been halfway through a mission and thought these were dying a lot quicker yesterday. Oh wait, I know why. I've got my crossbow on my back and not my fucking sniper rifle on my back. I'm
pretty sure. I'm 100% sure, to be honest, that when they announced the specialization, they said you could switch on the fly.
Oh, yeah. I think technically you can, but it's not.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not a PvP reason. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's something tied down in the code that they just can't.
Yeah, it might
change.
be something as simple as that. No, it's not simple, but there's a lot more to it.
Maybe it's really complicated and they just don't want to do it.
I think
maybe it's all fixed more than it will.
At the very least, I think they should give you the opportunity to tie a specialization to a loadout.
I mean, it could even be tied down to UI. You'd have to have the ability of coding the UI to run all 3 specializations on the fly.
But then they've had issues of loadouts in the past as well. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this isn't the Division 1 now, is it?
No, but they don't want to repeat.
No, this is the
mistakes.
I think this is the easy way of kind of subverting that. Okay, so moving very quickly on to Seamaster's GMT's question. Thank you very much for sending it in. He says, do you think there will be save points in the raid to allow players to take overnight breaks or even short breaks to use the restroom? I realize that no one knows what the raids will entail, but I would really like to see this question start a lively discussion about other hopes and wants for the raid. Cheers, boys.
Yeah, there's going to be checkpoints. Pretty sure.
Well, I would say
it's already been data mined.
Yeah, but I would say on harder difficulties, aka heroic, we probably won't get one.
Heroic, yeah.
I'm not sure if it was Seamaster that said I think it was after last week's episode. I think he said something along the lines of, we had a discussion about matchmaking for raids. I'm firmly on the side of having it. For some players, 8 friends is a lot to bring together. Fortunate to have made a lot of friends on Discord, but many of them aren't in my time zone, so it might be difficult to put together 8 people who can play for hours at a time. I'm likely to rely heavily on matchmaking when the raid arrives. I think it would be a shame, as there are a lot of players out there who would want the raid, but will never have 8 friends to play with. Mike, you said you guys currently have 6 people ready for the raid. You're probably the most connected players I know, but you are too short. Most other players aren't nearly as connected as you guys. May not have another chance to play the raid if it wasn't for matchmaking. Hope the post doesn't come across as judgmental. It's just meant to be a point of view from a casual, mainly PvE player. Hopefully we get matchmaking for raids. If not, there will be many players who are left swinging in the wind.
Just become nocturnal and play with us.
Yeah, I mean, there is that.
You could be number 7.
Yeah.
Because we still haven't found 2 more people that are willing to put up with us for several hours on a spin.
I think it's definitely an interesting conversation. I think the reason I think that way is obviously because of previous games that we've played. But I mean, the more we discuss the division, I don't know if you guys agree, but the more we discuss it, they're trying to cater for everyone, and I personally think they're doing the best that they can do to actually provide, help for solo players and casual players and all the rest of it, and to try and cater towards the hardcore players as well. I understand that hardcore players and other people might feel a little bit left out at the minute, but I think that they're doing a good job. And I think, I don't agree so much with, I don't know, I think it's just the idea of throwing 8 people who have no idea together. That must be absolute hell, if you know what I mean. Because Rob, we've done raids with people who were completely fucking random before.
But we know nothing about this raid.
Yeah, I know.
We're assuming it's going to be Destiny-esque. It could be completely different.
I fucking hope so.
It could just be a long incursion.
It could just be a drip, drip, drip. Sorry, that's a bit of an in-joke. Luke, as I'm sure people are tired of my voice, can you take the last post and then we can get the fuck out of here?
The last post that's going to take me an hour to read.
Yes, but we thank you.
Oh, God. Splatterguts in Discord said, long post ahead, just a few thoughts. Might turn into a rant halfway through, but hey, that's always welcome on this podcast.
Well, that's why I passed it over to you, because I thought you could rant through this one.
Do you guys think that the game, the PvE open world, at times is too easy? I mean, if we're walking down a street in World Tier 5, I want to feel like I'm in World Tier 5. I want to see 3 elite faction members surrounding a hostage, not 3 normal or maybe a veteran or 2. Otherwise, what's the point? I could dispose of them all in one magazine. Maybe I haven't noticed, but everything should be hard in the game. What happened to making games hard, almost impossible to complete? If you aren't good enough or don't understand how to beat a mission, get good.
I like this guy.
In the open world, hostage situations, if there are 2 and 1 dies, you still complete it as long as the other one survives. No, you should fail. 1 died, you failed. Yeah, I kind of agree with him on hostages. I really did think that's how they were going to be. When I passed one, when 1 died, I actually thought he was somewhat broken. So I can definitely see his point on that one.
I think maybe that should just scale it per group. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're a solo player or something, then I can understand that being an issue, and you should have to at least save one of them. But if you're in a group, you should have to save both, maybe. Anyway,
yeah, I guess so. Splatterguts goes on to say it'd be interesting if they could introduce another bounty where factions hunt you. For example, after you take back all the control points in a sector, actually after you raise every control point to level 4 and take them back, people will cry, though it's too hard and NPCs need to be nerfed. I mean, they already are, so...
Yeah.
Anyway, after you take them all in a sector, you think it's all good, then bang! Aerial drone flies in, a couple of named bosses and elites spawn in and nothing lower. You are fighting for your life. Can't escape, no fast travel, gotta clear them all.
Like what are they called? There's like helicopters that drop in the dark zone that are called something. Shit. I can't remember what they're called, but like something like that, I guess. Just random helicopters that would just bring in NPCs that are trying to kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be quite cool. I'm trying to think what they're called now as well. They're not patrols, are they? It's something else.
No. Ambush.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're called ambushes.
Yeah, cool. I've read that bit. The only thing I haven't thought of about this is the reward, because I don't know how powerful the loot goes, but surely there's I don't know, a 5% chance of an exotic. Is that fair? Is that too much? Unsure of realistic percentages in game. I get that it's a looter shooter. You shoot for loot and you loot to shoot and run around and that is it. But we're in World Tier 5. Make me feel like I don't want to leave the safe houses. Like the city should be fucking ruthless. I could spend an hour walking down streets looking up at buildings for orange crates. I shouldn't have the time to do that. I understand you can't put NPCs everywhere, but like fuck, excluding checkpoints, hunters, bounties, I've died maybe twice in the open world. And then he's putting stars, takes a deep breath.
When he's talking about that, all I can imagine, Mike, is what was that zombie game that you went on to complete, and that the zombies were literally everywhere?
Oh fuck, Dying Light. Yeah.
Imagine Dying Light-esque version city with just factions everywhere.
Yeah, well, that game is hard as well. It's not. It doesn't cater at all. So like your player level goes up and it scales with you, and it's still fucking brutal.
That's the sort of shit he's talking about, though.
I kind of feel like he needs to play Dark Souls or something. I mean, I love Dark Souls, so I'm not. Or Sekiro,
or Dying Light 2 when it comes out.
Or Dying Light 2, yeah. Anyway, Luke, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
No, so
that's what I did.
Just to summarize, do you think open world NPCs could be harder, especially being in World Tier 5? Do you think my control point bounty idea is any good? Do you agree with nerfing of solo missions? And what the fuck does target practice actually do? I've never bothered to look up if they have any implication. I just assumed that they helped hold control points for longer, but I don't know. That's just how I would make use of them. Anyway, looking forward to the next episode. If my ideas are shit, let me know. I can handle it. I'm an elitist. Brackets. Yes, that fucking guy. Close brackets.
Yes, we can be elitists together.
100% sure this guy plays on PC.
What, because he's an elitist?
No, just the way he's talking about how the difficulty and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's difficult. I mean, I think you've kind of got to come to a point where, like, a lot of people have to play this game, not just us. I don't know. I'm gonna hand it over to you.
I would love these changes in this game, but
how enjoyable would it be? Like, if you actually think about it, how enjoyable would it be?
Well,
Because
some people would enjoy it, but the majority wouldn't. Which is why this will never happen.
I feel like
because
you'd end up in like some bullet sponge mentality.
Money.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
We've long been advocates for some form of hardcore mode, haven't we? Where, you know, if you die for a long time, or your character gets wiped or whatever. So I mean, that could be.
I still think we should have something. All these people complain about a PvE dark zone. I want a dark zone where we go in, we have to find our shit, and if you die, that's it. That's it. You start again. People won't like that, but that's what I would like.
Yeah, I'm game for some more difficult content, whether that is in the open world like Splatterguts once, where there's literally 1,000 NPCs every corner you turn, or whether that is just, you turn this mission onto hardcore mode and there's no checkpoints, and if you die, you have to start from the beginning, and I don't know, they put a timer on it. You can't try again for another half an hour or something because you're an idiot and you didn't complete it. I don't have all the answers, but
do you feel like we're missing?
Well, there's definitely a portion of the player base that want something more difficult, more akin to hardcore, isn't there? We've seen people moaning
Legendary.
about it. Yeah, for weeks on Twitter.
The thing is, I do like his idea for the clear a sector, or raise all the checkpoints in that sector to level 4 and complete them, and then that pisses someone off and they try and hunt you down. Because we've had it. Like if you did the hunters where there's 4 of them, and you only killed 3, and then went and did other stuff, that last hunter finds you.
Yeah.
Right? He finds you no matter what you're doing. He'll find you, right?
He's Liam Neeson.
Like we would. I'm pretty sure me, Luke, and Boris were doing one of the hardest control points at level 3, and he was there. Like he came and found us. Was it you, Luke, or was it Dave?
It was Dave. I was in chat, I think, but yeah, I remember that conversation happening.
Yeah, and yeah, that was fun. So yeah, that sort of shit would work, I think, and would be fun.
Do you guys agree with nerfing solo missions modes?
I can't really comment on this because I haven't done a lot of missions solo. Like outside of completing the campaign solo, the very first playthrough, everything I've done once I've been in World Tier 5 has been at least in duo. So I'm going to stay out of that one.
Yeah, I mean, it must be difficult because if you're a solo player and you want difficult content, but then you don't feel it like it's hard enough, but then the other side of the community is kind of like, well, I'm a solo player, it's too hard. Yeah. What is the difference? What, is it information? Is it builds? Knowledge on stuff?
Yeah, to me, they should only be nerfing. No, I've just said I won't really have an opinion, but that's the whole point of there being different difficulty levels to all content in this game, isn't it?
Agreed, yeah.
We had a bit of a rant a couple of weeks ago that they were nerfing the difficulty levels of checkpoints, which is literally a piece of content that you make as difficult as you want to make it. I mean, why nerf that? That's possibly the stupidest idea I've ever heard of. But missions are the same. You've got story mode, which is super easy, then there's hard, then there's whatever, and then there's heroic. And then there's invaded versions of that are slightly harder than the standard version. So
not always.
Is
Sometimes
it that
the invaded ones are easier?
Well, yeah, whichever. I mean, is it that bad that if you go to your friends and say, "Oh, I couldn't do this mission heroic on solo," okay, either keep practicing and you'll get it eventually, or you found your limit for that particular mission.
I think the difference as well is like, we're playing the Division and we did the Stronghold tidal basin. We were like, fuck, this is going to be really difficult. And then we're like, oh, well, we died like once just because we didn't really know what the fuck was going on at one point. But you think how many players played through the Division 1 and they, Chuck, he loved playing the legendaries solo, didn't he? He loved that kind of challenge. And is that kind of taken from you? But then that's like the whole point of the mission difficulty setting as well. So,
and who's to say we're not going to get legendary eventually?
Oh, I'm not saying we're not going to get them. I'm just saying currently we don't have them, and I'm wondering if that's what we're missing.
Some shit back, haven't they? Otherwise, what are they going to release over the next month? Yeah, in the next 6 to 8 months.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for your thoughts and ideas and feedback. That's absolutely amazing that someone would spend a lot of time writing that. It is appreciated.
Yeah, please keep it coming.
Yeah, please keep the questions and feedback coming and your thoughts and feelings on everything we discuss here on the show, because it leads to some awesome conversations and we like the interactions with the community. And the other thing as well is it's nice, us three, we're part of the community, but I kind of feel like we're in our own little bubble sometimes, and we might not see everything the same as other people. So it's nice to have you guys sending in feedback and your thoughts and everything.
We're on an elliptical orbit with the community.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're really close, sometimes we're really far away.
Sometimes we're really, really fucking far away.
Yeah.
And off track. Like
it's looking at me like, the fuck is he talking about right now?
No. I understand completely what an elliptical orbit is. I'm just quite impressed with you using that in the podcast.
Big words.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'd like to hear Mike try and say the word elliptical.
Elliptical.
GG. Well played. Shut me up.
It's fine. I practiced like 10 times because Rob was going to bring it up before.
We talked about this pre-show before you were in chat.
What are those bullets called that set people on fire?
They're called fuck off, Luke. Anyway, let's get the fuck out of here. Robert, where can the listeners find us?
You can find us over at SITREP Radio on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, as well as our personal accounts. Send any questions or feedback for the show to sitrepRadiopod@gmail.com, or you can find us on Discord. The link will be in the show notes. We want to hear your thoughts on the news and topics we cover, so be sure to leave a comment and join the discussion in any of those places. Luke?
Please leave a review of the show using the podcast app of your choice. We genuinely enjoy reading them all and tearing them to shreds if they're negative. And at the end of the day, it does actually help other people to find our show. If you're brave enough to listen all the way to the very end of the show, you'll hear all the juicy details about the other awesome podcasts that are available on the Mash Those Buttons network. Thank you.
We do live stream as often as we can, so if you are interested in dropping by and chatting with us whilst we play The Division and some other games, you can find us all over at twitch.tv/SITREP Radio. I just want to give a very quick shout out to Robert. Well done.
What?
Well done.
What did I do?
You did it. If anyone's listening at home, give Rob a little
I did
round of applause.
I did better than Yannick this week.
You did better than Yannick. Yannick couldn't say heroic this week, which was fucking hilarious. But I
was watching the state of the game, and you literally forgot how to read halfway through a sentence. I was like, he's doing a me! He's doing a me!
Anyway, we have been SITREP Radio. Thank you so much for listening, agents, and we will catch you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Sequence complete. Security protocols deactivated. Server data replaced and CPU destroyed. Terminating connection in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secure.